my name is Shreya Nagnari and welcome back to my channel. It is literally a midterms week and I decided to record this video. It's been a long time since I recorded my first video about UCSD and the colleges, and I think my perspective has really changed about the colleges and like just what I've thought about these things, and I think there's a lot of new information that I should try to condense and put into an awesome little video. So yes, please watch the entire thing. I promise you, like, you don't want to go into your college ranking with kind of a misconstrued perception of the colleges, and I think a lot of people undersell the importance of these colleges because people just don't know about them. So if you're kind of new to the college system at UCSD, let me break it to you in like 2 different points. The colleges are important because firstly, their location. They basically determine where you're going to be living on campus for the 2 years that you live here. You're only allowed to live with people who are in the same college as you. So I'm a Marshall student. That means my 2 roommates are from Marshall College as well. They have to be. And also, I live in Marshall designated housing. Each of the colleges have their own housing and you are most likely to live there. I say most likely because there's a couple of changes. However, that's really important because it determines, you know, where you are, but also like where you're like most close to. I think a lot of the colleges are really spread out, so I think a lot more people want to live more on the central part of campus. So I'll give you an understanding of like where colleges are located. But secondly, and I say this is the more important part about the colleges, is that they determine your general education requirements. So obviously, to graduate from a university, you need to finish your major requirements because without those, you can't actually get your diploma. However, in addition to those, you also have your GEs. So these are classes that you need to take that are a part of your college. So these are going to be different depending on what college you're in. And obviously some are harder than others. So I'll also give you an understanding, at least from a STEM perspective, of what I believe are the easier GEs compared to the harder GEs. So yeah, that's basically like a really short understanding of the colleges. But now onto their ranking. So there are 8 colleges, and the first college that I'm ranking is going to be Warren College. Okay, so the reason why I'm putting Warren College first is because of its location. I think if you are a STEM major, you should definitely be putting Warren as first, but if you're not, I probably wouldn't put Warren as your first. I'll tell you where it should go if you're not. Warren College is all about, it's towards a life in balance, which means that they are dedicated to cultivating responsible citizens who are going to flourish during their careers at UCSD and beyond. So Warren College is really located in a way that it makes it really convenient for an engineering student. It is right next to 2 main buildings, the Computer Science Building and also Jacobs School of Engineering. Not all of your classes are going to be there. However, it makes it quite convenient if you're a part of, you know, extracurriculars or club life that really does require you to be near those buildings. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier if you're near those 2 buildings and you are an engineering major. In addition to that, your GEs are going to be heavily reduced compared to other colleges because you are an engineering major. And for that reason, I say Warren College should really be everyone's top choice if you are an engineering major, because the GEs are going to be, you know, a large part of your curriculum, and I think a lot of people would rather want to spend time on like your major required classes because those are the things that you need to get a job or, you know, do important things. So I think it's important that people who want to solely focus on their major do Warren College so they don't have to worry about taking, you know, maybe a foreign language or other things that might, you know, be time consuming but not really something that you're interested in. So that's why I would say Warren College should be your first choice. I have a good friend who lives at Warren, and as someone who's visited her place many times, I can tell you that the food is great over there, and also like the dorms are pretty good as well. They're older, but to be real, it's nothing that would really move Warren College out of like first place to me. So yeah, that's my TLDR on Warren. If you're not a STEM major, please don't put Warren. I'm telling you, please don't do it. It's not a good idea. So STEM majors, Warren. If you're not, don't. Now onto our second ranking, which is going to be 6th College. So 6th College is one of the newer places on campus. Its motto is cultivating curious minds to tackle the complex challenges of our times. So the reason why I've put 6th as second is for a couple of reasons. Firstly, location. I'm telling you, the location of 6th is literally perfect. You're super close to a lot of other colleges, so if you're really hungry and you want to try something new, you could go to those dining halls and eat there instead. In addition, like, you're at the center of campus for a lot of events and activities. I genuinely think that like 6th is a really fun place to be as well. There's a lot of like, you step outside and there's like some random activity. So I genuinely think like 6th College is a really awesome location. In addition to that, the dorms, oh my god, as someone who lived at 6th last year, I can tell you that the dorms were really, really, really awesome. So like a lot of people have an ocean view, basically everything's a lot cleaner, everything's a lot nicer in 6th. So I highly recommend people put this as their like first or second option. In addition to this, the GEs are not bad at all. Like their writing sequence, it's not bad. It's like really, really okay. The GEs are not bad. The place is nice. The dorms are really nice. You're in the center of campus. I'm telling you, like, literally put 6th as your first or second choice. Like, just take my word on it. So now onto my third ranking, which is going to be Marshall College. So I'm actually a Marshall College student, and I'm going to say, like, Marshall College is literally a wonderful place to be. Their motto is developing the scholar and the citizen. So thinking things with a very human perspective in mind, thinking about civil rights, human rights, things like that. And I think Marshall College is in third for me for a couple of reasons. Firstly, its location. Its location is not bad. I'm not going to say that it's like similar to 6th, for example, but we're close to 6th, which makes it good. In addition, like, I think the food here is not bad. It's obviously normal to get tired of the food at Marshall, but I'm saying it's not bad at all. In addition, as someone who's living in Marshall dorms right now, the dorms are pretty good as well. I think Marshall gets a lot of hate on that, but I genuinely think it's not a problem. In addition, and this is kind of my like 2024 update, basically like right outside, there's a lot of construction going on, and that's going to be the new Marshall campus for the next however knows how long. So Marshall is going to change heavily, and it's going to be really, really nice. It's going to be quite similar to 6 in the way that you have a lot of high buildings, but you're also going to get like a very much closed off campus. So for that reason, Marshall is really like in a higher place for me, because like it's going to be renovated. It's in the process of being renovated. They say that they're going to be done by 2025. So if you're an incoming student, like you have a chance of living in these new dorms, which is why I'm saying that you should probably put Marshall as your like third option. In addition, we have a labor-based grading system for our writing sequence. This is different from other colleges, and I'm telling you, it makes the class a lot easier because you're able to write about things that you're passionate about instead of really focusing on the grade. I genuinely think that's like an awesome direction that Marshall is moving towards, which is why I say that like Marshall is moving towards a really good direction that puts it at a higher part of my list. That's my like TLDR on Marshall College. I am a Marshall student and I'm quite involved in Marshall activities. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. On to Muir. So Muir's kind of thing is about environmental issues. Muir is in a pretty good location. It's not as great as Marshall's location, and it's not as great as 6th location. However, it's in a good location in that it's close to 6th. The dining halls are pretty good. The reason why it's lower than Marshall, because I think Marshall firstly has the better campus that's coming. I think Muir dorms are a little bit older. They are still nice, they're just older, which kind of brings a new bout of problems. In addition, the writing sequence I don't think it's a labor-based grading sequence like Marshall College, which I think will make it harder for a lot more students. I think the GEs overall are relatively easy though, just like Marshall's. Literally the only difference between Muir and Marshall, obviously location, but like I think when it comes to GEs, I think it's just that like Marshall has that like labor-based grading system, which makes it pretty easy to like go through. Yeah, that's why Muir is ranked lower than Marshall. I think that's a pretty hot take, but it's my take and I will definitely own up to that. So now on to 8th College. So 8th College's deal is about like thinking about things with an interdisciplinary mind. And there isn't a lot of new information about 8th College, and I highly recommend to do your own research because I think we get more updates every single day. Basically, it's going to look very similar to 6th College and 7th College in that you have like the large concrete buildings, in that everything's really clean. It's a really nice place to live in that like the dorms are new, everything is new, the equipment is new, and you're not going to face a lot of the problems that maybe like Marshall right now or Muir would have. 8th College is in a really good place when it comes to their dorms and their services, but I think there's two big issues that I think that a lot of people don't consider when they think about 8th College. Like, yes, the dorms are really nice, but how far do you have to walk to get to these dorms? 8th is in a position where it literally looks off campus. Like, if you didn't really know the geography of UCSD, like you would genuinely think that it would be off campus because it's so far away from everything else. In addition, 8th College doesn't actually have their own dining hall right now, which means like queues for like Revels, because they share a dining hall with Revell right now, it's going to be longer. And if it's at the end of the day and you're starving, I'm telling you, you're not gonna want to walk 20 minutes back to your dorm. You're not gonna want to wait like 30 minutes when it comes to your food as well. So for that reason, I kind of put 8th at the more like bottom end of my list, because even if the GEs are not that bad, it's the location from literally everything that really puts it at the bottom of my list. Because just believe me, if it's raining or if it's cold, you're not gonna want to walk another 20 minutes to get to your class. So that's why 8th is kind of at the bottom of my list. But now on to the next college, which is 7th College. So 7th College, once again, it's like 6th, it's like 8th. You have the tall concrete buildings. A lot of people get an ocean view because the buildings are really, really tall. I think the GEs are pretty easy. 7th is all about environmental issues, but it's more about climate change and like about the planet itself. So, and the writing sequence are based off of that. And the reason why 7th is kind of like in the middle lower end of my list is for 2 reasons. I don't think it has the amazing dorms that 8th College has that really kind of puts 8th above 7th. I don't think people have like an understanding or perspective of like how far things can be or how tired you get at UCSD, but as someone who's been here for like 2 years, I can tell you that like you don't want to walk as far as you would have to if you are in 7th, 8th, or like any of those really distant colleges. Besides, it doesn't have like a really awesome GE system that kind of like would put it above like Muir, Marshall, 8th, or anything like that. So 7th is a great place to live, and definitely don't freak out if you got placed into 7th, but I'm saying that like I would definitely not put it at the top end of my list unless dorms are a really, really big perspective for you, because I think the dorms there are really nice because they're newer than like Muir or Warren, for example, but they're not going to be like, I think the location is what really edges out 7th in my perspective. In addition, they only have like one really close dining hall. So if you are really starving, like, so I've had to wait maybe an hour for the dining halls at 7th, which really edges it out in my perspective, because if you're really hungry, I'm telling you, you don't want to wait an hour. So that's my perspective on 7th. That's also a pretty hot take, but that's my perspective. Now on to the final 2 colleges. Woo! Okay, so there are 2 colleges left, and they are ERC, which is Eleanor Roosevelt College, and Revell. I'll be kind of talking about them similarly because they kind of have the same problems. The reason why they're ranked so low is because of the number of GEs, but also the difficulty of the GEs in these 2 colleges. For example, in ERC is all about kind of getting a global perspective. Their motto is scholarship, leadership, and service. Ooh, okay. So ERC is really cool in that like all of their building names are kind of like places. So like you will see like, you know, Middle East, or I think they have a place called Asia, or something like that. And ERC is a really nice place to live. Like, I think they just got their entire dining hall remodeled, and I'm telling you, it looks so good. The GEs are so terrible that I would just tell any STEM major, if you are scared of the humanities, I would say run as far as you could get from ERC or Revell, because just the amount of GEs, but also like they are hard classes that you have to take as well. At least for Revell, I think you guys have to, or either ERC or Revell, you have to have a foreign language. There's a foreign language requirement that the other colleges do not have. So yeah, because of that, I would say that like they just wouldn't be for me, because I'm just not that great at foreign languages or humanities to, you know, really want to take those classes. So if you are a STEM major and if you do not like the humanities, I'm just saying that like I would put those at the bottom of your list. Yeah, and Revell is all about purpose, truth, and vision. As I said, it's kind of close to 8th. It's not as far as 8th, so don't get worried. But yeah, the dining halls are pretty good, and I've heard that the housing is like okay at ERC and Revell, but it's just really not, like, I think the GEs are just something that really outweighs basically everything else. So yeah, and if you really, I personally really like the ERC dining halls, but I just walk there. Like, I'm just saying, it's not worth it unless you really, really love the humanities. So yeah, those are my rankings on the 8 colleges. I try to give my like best perspective on all of them. Once again, if you are a humanities major, I would probably put Warren, thinking right now, above ERC. The number of GEs that you have to take when you are a part of Warren and you're not an engineering student, it just makes it so much harder. So I would say avoid it completely. put it above ERC and you should totally be fine. So yeah, those are my rankings. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm really like willing to answer them. And yeah, I have to go back to my midterms, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye guys!